Have you ever noticed that some women don't bend their standards, no matter how charming, successful, or persistent a man is? Have you ever wondered why certain women would rather stay single than entertain someone who can't meet them at their level? And have you ever asked yourself what it actually takes to be the kind of man a truly independent, self-made woman would even consider? Welcome to time-tested advice, where ancient philosophy meets the modern world. I'm your host, Alfred. Let's get started. Sigma females are not like other women. They don't settle, and they certainly don't make exceptions. There are 9 ruthless standards every man must meet to even get a chance with them. And trust me, at number 3, most men can't handle it. Let's break it down. And today, we're diving deep into the world of Sigma females, those independent, unapologetically strong women who operate on their own terms. Stick around till the end, because what we're about to talk about is going to turn your whole idea of attraction upside down. Now it's time for some real talk. What are the standards Sigma females have for men and most can't handle? Standard number 1, emotional independence. Sigma women don't need constant validation. They've learned to stand on their own emotionally, and that's one of their most powerful traits. Growing up, they've been through a lot, and instead of depending on others to lift them up, they've taught themselves to be self-sufficient when it comes to their emotional well-being. They know how to cope with stress, deal with disappointments, and handle the ups and downs of life without falling apart. This ability to stand tall, regardless of external circumstances, is one of the qualities that makes them incredibly independent and strong. Now here's the thing. If you're the kind of guy who constantly seeks reassurance, who's always asking, "Are you okay with this? Did I do something wrong? Do you still like me?" then you're going to run into trouble. A Sigma female values emotional self-reliance not only in herself, but also in her partner. She doesn't want someone who constantly needs validation. She doesn't want to be the emotional anchor that you rely on every single time something goes wrong. If you need constant validation to feel secure in the relationship, that's a huge red flag. Sigma women know that relationships require trust. And part of that trust is the understanding that both partners can stand on their own 2 feet emotionally. This means you have to be strong on your own. She doesn't need to be the one constantly reassuring you, checking if you're okay, or calming you down after every little issue. She wants to see that you're emotionally mature enough to navigate life without crumbling under the weight of every single challenge. When life gets tough, Sigma women expect their partner to be able to weather the storm without needing a crutch. They want someone who can face obstacles head-on, make decisions with confidence, and work through their emotions independently. That doesn't mean they don't want support. Of course they do, but it means they want a partner who's able to support themselves first. They don't want someone who's going to fall apart the moment things get difficult. Life is full of unpredictable events, and they want a partner who is able to handle their own emotions, pick themselves up when they're down, and move forward without dragging the entire relationship into a downward spiral. It's not that Sigma women don't care about your feelings. They do, but they need someone who can stand beside them, not someone who constantly needs to be carried through life. She respects a man who has his own emotional strength. If you're the kind of guy who's secure enough to sit with your feelings, reflect on them, and handle them without relying on others to fix you, that's something she can deeply admire. On the flip side, if you're someone who needs constant hand-holding and emotional guidance, the relationship is going to feel unbalanced. A Sigma woman doesn't want to feel like the emotional caretaker in the relationship. If you're looking for someone to constantly pick you up and help you through every single problem, it's just not going to work. She wants a partner who can walk through life as a strong, independent individual, just as she does. Standard number 2, strong ambition. Sigma women are driven. They don't just want to get by in life, they want to thrive. Ambition isn't just a nice to have for them, it's a non-negotiable. She's constantly striving for growth, whether that means climbing the career ladder, building personal projects, or working on her own self-development. Sigma females are all about progress, constantly pushing themselves to be better, achieve more, and learn from every experience. When they set their sights on something, they go after it with everything they've got. So, if you're the type of guy who's comfortable with where he is, content to just coast through life, that's going to be a problem. Sigma women can't relate to that mindset. They respect men who have their own ambitions, their own goals, and are willing to work hard to reach them. Whether you're building a business, advancing in your career, or chasing personal goals, she needs to see that you're motivated to achieve something greater than just staying stagnant. Ambition doesn't always mean you have to be an entrepreneur or a CEO. It's more about your drive and your willingness to put in the work to make your dreams happen. A Sigma female admires a man who isn't satisfied with mediocrity, who's always looking for ways to improve and grow. If you don't have any direction in life, if you're not striving to be better than you were yesterday, she'll quickly lose interest. For her, ambition isn't just about success, it's about the journey. It's about seeing that you care enough to put in the effort, no matter the setbacks, no matter the challenges. Sigma women don't need a man to take care of them or do everything for them. They can stand on their own 2 feet. What they do need is a man who has a clear vision of where he wants to go and the ambition to get there. If you have a plan, a purpose, and a relentless desire to make it happen, she'll respect that. She wants a man who's as driven as she is, who understands that success requires hard work, patience, and sacrifices. Ambition isn't just about career goals either. It's about personal growth. Sigma women want men who are invested in self-improvement, who take time to better themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally. They don't want someone who's stagnant, who isn't actively working on becoming a better version of themselves. Whether it's reading, learning new skills, working on health and fitness, or honing emotional intelligence, they respect a man who is committed to constant self-growth. The key here is passion. A Sigma female wants to see that you're passionate about something, anything that drives you. It's not enough to just get by. She wants to see you throw your heart into your goals, even when things get tough. If you're someone who is content with the bare minimum and not looking to push yourself further, she won't be interested. Sigma women want someone who matches their energy, someone who will keep up with their pace, and someone who's just as hungry for success as they are. If you're complacent, you're out of the running. Standard number 3. Confidence without arrogance. Sigma women are drawn to confidence, but there's a catch. Confidence is sexy, but arrogance not so much. A Sigma female doesn't need a man who constantly feels the need to prove himself. She's all about a man who knows his worth without needing to flaunt it. Confidence is about owning who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your flaws, and your victories. But arrogance comes from a place of insecurity, where you feel the need to constantly tell everyone how great you are just to feel validated. Sigma women want a man who exudes quiet confidence, someone who's comfortable with who they are and doesn't need to broadcast it. She respects a man who can walk into a room, stand tall, and command respect without ever saying a word. That's the kind of energy she's drawn to. If you're always talking about how amazing you are, how much money you make, or how great your accomplishments are. It shows a lack of security. It shows you need constant external validation, which is a major turn-off for a Sigma female. A confident man doesn't need to put others down to lift himself up. He doesn't need to belittle people or constantly remind everyone how much better he is than everyone else. That's where arrogance comes into play. Arrogance comes from trying to fill an internal void by seeking approval from others. Confidence, on the other hand, comes from self-assurance. A confident man knows who he is and doesn't feel the need to seek external validation at every turn. Sigma females have a radar for fake confidence. If you're constantly boasting or acting like you're the best at everything, it just screams insecurity. It's exhausting and doesn't impress her. What she values more is someone who's genuine, who speaks quietly but with authority, and who doesn't need to make others feel small to feel good about himself. This is a key difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence invites respect, while arrogance demands it. It's also about how you handle mistakes. A confident man can own up to his failures without making excuses. He's not afraid to admit when he's wrong or when he doesn't know something. Arrogance, on the other hand, avoids accountability at all costs. If you never acknowledge your faults or brush them off with arrogance, she won't respect you. She admires a man who can own his mistakes, learn from them, and grow. Confidence also means being secure enough not to feel threatened by others. If you're constantly comparing yourself to other men, trying to prove that you're the best or the smartest, it shows a lack of confidence. Sigma women appreciate men who aren't threatened by their success, who are secure in their own path, and who don't see other people as competition. Confidence isn't about being the best in the room. It's about knowing that you have your own unique value. So if you want to catch the eye of a Sigma female, show her your quiet confidence. Let your actions speak for themselves. Be comfortable in your own skin, own your strengths, and embrace your flaws. She'll be attracted to that more than any boastful claims or exaggerated stories. Confidence is powerful. Arrogance is just a facade. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, say hello, and consider subscribing to our channel. And if you'd like to support our channel further, become a member by clicking the Join button below. Standard number 4, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a game changer for a Sigma female. It's not just about understanding your own feelings. It's about being able to connect with hers too. The reality is, every relationship has its highs and lows. A Sigma female doesn't expect perfection, but she does expect someone who can handle emotions like an adult, not someone who avoids tough conversations or runs from uncomfortable situations. Emotional intelligence is about recognizing emotions in yourself and others, and being able to manage them appropriately. If you're someone who bottles up your feelings or just shuts down when things get difficult, you're going to run into problems. Sigma women don't want to be with a man who can't talk through issues or who shuts off emotionally every time there's conflict. Relationships require communication, especially when things aren't going perfectly. A man who can't express his feelings, or worse, dismisses hers, is not someone a Sigma woman will stick around for. She wants someone who can engage in mature, honest conversations, even when it's hard. Having emotional intelligence means you can handle your own emotions in a healthy way. It means not getting overly defensive or reactive when criticized, or when things don't go your way. Sigma women respect men who can accept feedback without taking it personally, and who can reflect on their own behaviors. If you're constantly getting angry or defensive at the smallest things, that's a red flag for her. Emotional maturity means being able to pause, process, and respond thoughtfully, not just react impulsively. Empathy plays a huge part in emotional intelligence. Sigma females appreciate men who can understand where they're coming from. It's not just about solving problems. It's about listening and acknowledging what the other person is going through. She doesn't want to feel like you're just trying to fix her problems or brush her emotions off. She wants someone who can sit with her, understand her point of view, and offer support without immediately trying to fix things. Emotional intelligence is knowing that sometimes the best thing you can do is listen and offer a shoulder to lean on. It's also about managing your own emotions in a way that doesn't negatively affect the relationship. A Sigma woman doesn't want to be with someone who explodes with anger, shuts down in silence, or projects their stress onto her. She needs a man who can stay grounded in tough situations, who doesn't let his emotions control his actions. Emotional intelligence allows a man to stay calm under pressure, think clearly, and make thoughtful decisions, even when things aren't going according to plan. A man with emotional intelligence can recognize when something's off in the relationship and isn't afraid to address it head-on. Instead of avoiding conflict, he will bring it up calmly and constructively. If you ignore problems and hope they'll go away, it's just a matter of time before the Sigma female walks away. She values men who are willing to confront issues directly, even if it's uncomfortable, because she knows that healthy relationships are built on trust, communication, and mutual understanding. In short, emotional intelligence is the ability to manage your emotions and understand and respond to the emotions of others. If you can't do that, she won't hesitate to move on. But if you can handle your emotions like a grown-up, acknowledge hers, and navigate tough situations with maturity, you'll have her respect and maybe even her heart. Standard number 5, loyalty and integrity. Loyalty and integrity are non-negotiable for a Sigma female. She doesn't care about flashy promises or words that sound good in the moment. She cares about actions. Sigma women value deep, unwavering loyalty and the ability to stand by your word. If you say you're going to do something, she expects you to follow through. Simple as that. She's not looking for perfection, but she's looking for consistency, honesty, and a partner who's as committed as she is. Loyalty isn't just about being faithful in the traditional sense. It's about being loyal in every aspect of the relationship. A Sigma female values a man who shows up for her, supports her, and is there when it matters. That means standing by her side during tough times, not just when things are easy or fun. Loyalty is about being a reliable partner, someone she can count on no matter what. If you disappear when things get rough, or if you're inconsistent with your actions, she won't hesitate to cut ties. Integrity goes hand in hand with loyalty. Sigma women don't want someone who's full of empty words. She wants someone who acts with honor and is truthful, even when it's uncomfortable. If you say one thing but do another, you're undermining trust. And that's something a Sigma female simply can't tolerate. She's built a life of authenticity, and she demands the same from her partner. Integrity means being honest, owning your actions, and living with a sense of moral responsibility. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. For a Sigma female, trust is the foundation of any relationship. She doesn't just want someone who tells her what she wants to hear. She wants someone who tells her the truth, no matter how hard it may be. If you're not transparent, if you hide things or deceive her in any way, That's an instant deal breaker. Trust isn't something you can earn back once it's broken, and Sigma women know this all too well. Once you've damaged her trust, it's hard for her to ever fully open up to you again. Loyalty and integrity aren't just about being faithful in a relationship. It's also about being true to yourself and your values. If you compromise your values for convenience or fear of conflict, she'll lose respect for you. Sigma women want someone who stands firm in their beliefs, someone who doesn't bend to please others, and someone who can face challenges head-on without sacrificing their moral compass. They respect a man who can say, "This is who I am," and who remains true to his word, no matter what external pressures arise. When things get tough, it's easy for people to act out of fear or desperation, but a Sigma woman respects a man who stays grounded in his integrity, a man who is loyal not just to her, but to his values, his word, and the promises he makes. She respects the man who has a strong moral compass, who takes responsibility for his actions, and who leads by example. To put it simply, if you lack loyalty and integrity, she won't have a second thought about walking away. But if you have both, if you're honest, reliable, and steadfast, she'll be by your side through thick and thin. Standard number 6, mental strength. Mental strength is an absolute must for a Sigma female. Life is unpredictable, and it's full of challenges, setbacks, and emotional roller coasters. A Sigma woman isn't looking for someone who crumbles under pressure or falls apart when things go wrong. She needs a man who can handle the mental and emotional demands of life with resilience and maturity. It's not about never feeling down. It's about how you respond when life hits you with its hardest blows. A man with mental strength can take a hit, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Sigma. Women don't want a partner who folds at the first sign of difficulty. Life will throw curveballs, and how you handle them defines your character. If you let every little problem shake your foundation, it's going to be hard for her to respect you. Mental strength means maintaining your composure in tough times, and it means not letting your emotions completely dictate your actions. It's about keeping a level head, thinking clearly, and finding a solution even when everything feels like it's falling apart. It's also about how you handle stress. Sigma women value men who don't get overwhelmed by the weight of the world. Instead, they respect those who can manage stress, keep their emotions in check, and think critically when faced with pressure. If you're constantly frazzled, if you let every bit of stress make you snap or withdraw, she'll notice. Mental strength means you can handle the pressure without letting it spill over into your relationship or your daily life. She needs a man who can stay calm and focused even when the storm is raging. But mental strength isn't just about dealing with external problems. It's also about how you handle internal struggles. A man with mental fortitude knows how to confront his own doubts, fears, and insecurities. He doesn't ignore them or suppress them. Instead, he faces them head-on, does the inner work, and improves himself. Sigma women don't have time for emotional immaturity or someone who's constantly struggling with their own demons without making an effort to grow. They want a man who can be honest with himself about his weaknesses and who actively works on improving them. Sigma women are also drawn to men who have a strong sense of self. Mental strength is also about being able to stand your ground and stick to your beliefs and values, even when others try to challenge or undermine them. If you're easily influenced, if you constantly shift your opinions to please others, that's a sign of weak mental fortitude. Sigma women need a partner who can hold his own, even when the world around him tries to knock him down. Finally, mental strength involves a growth mindset. It's not about being perfect or invincible. It's about understanding that life is a journey and that there will always be room for growth. A Sigma female wants a partner who is continually striving to evolve, to face challenges head-on, and to grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. She doesn't want someone who stays stagnant, someone who's afraid to tackle their flaws or get uncomfortable. Mental strength means embracing growth, learning from mistakes, and continuously becoming a better version of yourself. Standard number 7, a life of his own. One of the most important things for a Sigma female is having a partner who has his own life. She values independence, and not just her own, but his too. A Sigma woman isn't interested in someone who is constantly looking for validation or someone who can't exist without her. She needs a man who stands on his own, someone who has his own passions, goals and interests outside of the relationship. A man who has his own life, full of purpose, will attract her attention far more than someone who's constantly dependent on her to fill a void. A Sigma female knows that balance is key. While she's independent and doesn't rely on a partner for her happiness, she expects the same in return. She's looking for someone who brings something to the table, someone who's not just focused on her every move. If you need constant attention, or if your entire world revolves around her, that's not going to work. She values a man who doesn't need to be constantly entertained. Instead, she wants someone who can thrive on his own, someone who has his own circle of friends, his own hobbies, and his own ambitions. Having a life of his own means that a man has a sense of individuality. He doesn't mold his personality or interests just to fit into the relationship. Instead, he brings his own identity to the table, and it complements hers. A Sigma woman isn't interested in losing herself in a relationship. She respects a man who can balance the time they spend together with the time he spends pursuing his own passions. This independence isn't about avoiding commitment or being cold. It's about having a healthy relationship where both individuals are secure in who they are. Sigma women also need a man who isn't afraid to take risks, chase his own dreams, and step out of his comfort zone. A man with a life of his own is someone who doesn't just exist. He lives. He takes pride in his career, his passions, and the direction he's heading in life. Sigma females find this type of ambition and drive incredibly attractive. They want someone who's not waiting for life to happen, but someone who's actively shaping his own destiny. If you don't have a plan, if you're not striving to achieve something, that's a deal breaker. It's also important to note that a man with his own life doesn't feel threatened by hers. A Sigma female's independence isn't something she expects her partner to compete with. Instead, she wants a partner who can celebrate her accomplishments just as she celebrates his. It's about mutual respect and admiration for each other's individual journeys. She wants a partner who supports her ambitions and vice versa. Someone who understands that both people need space to grow, evolve, and chase their dreams, even if they do that separately at times. In short, if you're looking for a relationship where everything revolves around her, you're not the right fit. A Sigma female wants a man who can stand on his own 2 feet and live his own life. She needs a partner who can thrive individually and come together with her as 2 fully developed, independent people. If you can't do that, you won't be able to keep up with her. Standard number 8, respect for boundaries and time. Sigma females guard their time, energy, and personal space because that's how they stay powerful, productive, and emotionally balanced. If you're the kind of man who gets offended when she can't talk 24/7, who demands instant replies, or who tries to insert himself into every single aspect of her day, you're going to exhaust her. She needs a man who understands that independence is not rejection. When she says she needs time to work, to think, to recharge, or to pursue her own projects, she expects you to respect that without sulking, guilt-tripping, or accusing her of losing interest. A high-level woman has a life built on purpose, so she admires a man who can honor her schedule just as he honors his own. That means no testing her limits, no pushing past her no, and no trying to make her feel bad for prioritizing her goals. When a man can respect her boundaries, show up when he says he will, give her space without disappearing, and let the connection breathe instead of suffocating it, she sees emotional maturity. Boundary-respecting men are rare, and Sigma females know it. Standard number 9, alignment with purpose and values. At the end of the day, a Sigma female isn't just choosing a man, she's choosing a direction. If your life is rooted in chaos, meaningless distractions, and short-term thinking, you might attract her attention for a moment, but you won't keep it. She wants to see that you live by something bigger than ego, whether that's faith, mission, family, legacy, or a personal code you don't break. She looks for a man whose words match his lifestyle, whose goals match his habits, and whose values don't disappear the moment temptation shows up. A man like that is safe to build with. He won't be intimidated by her success, he won't compete with her, and he won't try to dim her just to feel brighter. Instead, he'll walk beside her as an equal. You've just heard the 7 ruthless standards that Sigma females have for men, and now you've seen 2 more that most people don't talk about. Now, I want you to take a step back and reflect on what it means to meet these expectations. Because let's be real, Sigma women aren't looking for anyone to meet them halfway. They're looking for men who can rise to the occasion, men who can stand tall, walk with purpose, and hold their own in every aspect of life. But here's the thing, it's not about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, independent, strong, and self-aware. It's about being a man who has his own life, who has mental fortitude, who can handle emotions without losing control, and who values loyalty and integrity. These qualities are universal. They aren't just traits that Sigma women find attractive. They're traits that make you a better person, whether you're trying to impress someone or not. So ask yourself, are you ready to become the kind of man who aligns with these standards? Are you ready to look inward and make the changes that will not only attract a Sigma female, but also help you grow as an individual? Because honestly, it's not just about being with a Sigma woman. It's about being the kind of man who doesn't settle, who doesn't accept mediocrity in his life. It's about stepping into a version of yourself that's strong, resilient, emotionally intelligent, and independent. Every single one of these standards isn't just a checklist for attracting a Sigma female. It's a blueprint for success in life. Mental strength, that's how you get through life's toughest moments. Emotional intelligence, that's what builds deep, meaningful connections. Confidence without arrogance, that's how you earn respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Loyalty and integrity. Those are the cornerstones of trust in any relationship, and having your own life, that's what makes you feel fulfilled, regardless of anyone else's expectations. It's time to stop looking for shortcuts, stop relying on the bare minimum, and start aiming for excellence, because that's what Sigma women do. They live their lives with a clear purpose, with intention, and with relentless determination. And they expect nothing less from the men who enter their lives. So let's flip the script here. Instead of waiting for someone to come into your life and complete you, ask yourself, how can I complete my own life? How can I raise my standards to the level that I'm attracting someone who challenges me, who helps me grow, and who stands beside me as an equal? This isn't just about attracting the right partner. This is about becoming the kind of person who attracts opportunities, who attracts respect, and who lives with purpose. And here's the real kicker. When you start embodying these qualities, when you start living with purpose, not only will you attract Sigma women, you'll attract the life you've always wanted. So if this resonated with you, if you're ready to take that leap, here's what I want you to do. 1. Start today. Look at where you're currently at in life and ask yourself, what needs to change? What area of my life needs more ambition, more emotional strength, more independence? Start small, but start now. Whether it's working on your mental fortitude or being more honest with yourself, make that commitment to yourself right now. 2. Embrace the challenge. These standards aren't easy to meet, and that's the point. Sigma women aren't looking for convenience. They're looking for strength, consistency, and real raw effort. Are you willing to embrace the challenge of becoming the best version of yourself? Because if you are, you're on the right path. 3. Commit to growth. Growth doesn't stop when you meet one of these standards. It's an ongoing journey. So make the decision today to commit to that growth. Seek out knowledge, learn from every experience, and never settle for being less than what you know you can be. The best version of yourself is out there. It's just waiting for you to claim it. 4. Be patient with the process. Becoming the man that attracts a Sigma woman or anyone of real substance takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. But if you stay consistent, stay true to your journey, and keep putting in the work, the results will come. And when they do, they'll be worth every second of effort. If you're ready to take action, if you're ready to become the man you've always known you could be, then make the commitment. Right now, today, to raise your standards in every area of your life. Because when you do that, you won't just attract the kind of partner you want. You'll attract the kind of life you deserve. Are you in? Drop a comment below. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm your host, Alfred, and I read every comment.